Hey friends, follow along and I'll tell you how to turn a day from hell into a week from hell. Welcome to the vlog. Hey friends, welcome back. So, this is an update that I've been kind of putting off doing because I didn't really want to do it because I didn't know how to basically bundle it all together, and I didn't want to come across as a whiner, and I didn't want to come across as somebody who is perhaps underprepared, which, let's be honest, I more or less am. Hell, let's just get into it. Hey friends, so thought I'd give you guys a little update. This is Friday afternoon, it's about 4:30. The morning got off to a late start because I got everything packed up, the truck hooked up to the trailer, the jack stands, these legs under here that go up and down. They let the trailer down because I needed it to come down a little bit for me to hook up to it, and then once I hooked up to it, they wouldn't go up. Turns out the switch died right in between. So I owe my buddy Keith and his employee Mike tons of gratitude. I'm going to just basically start sending them my paychecks because they pretty much earned them this week. But it didn't stop there. So back about 16 days ago, I was at my friend Keith's place in Brooks, Alberta, getting all packed up and ready to leave. Everything was going good. We had the whole truck packed up and got the truck lined up for the hitch, raised the trailer up, the jacks worked fine, backed the truck up, hitched on, went to lower everything back down and bring the legs up, and nothing. The legs on the trailer would not come up. So we basically jacked it up and I put them up enough so that we could tow it around by the shop, and one of Keith's guys, who happens to be pretty good with electrical kind of stuff, took a look at it. We found the fuse, checked the fuse is fine. It turned out that the switch for the legs basically cooked itself, failed. So he actually had an old RV at his place that he's parting out for, basically using for parts for one of his newer RVs. He had a switch worked, finally on the road. I was hoping to be on the road around 9 that morning, and I think we actually hit the road about 1:30. And then, but I pulled into Sweetgrass, and the gas station there had plastic bags on all the pump handles. They were like closed. I don't know, I think the store was open, but the gas pumps were not operating. So my only options were either to turn around and go back through the border and then cross again, or push my luck and see if I could get to Shelby. Well, if you look in behind me, down this road, about 2 kilometers, is the main street of Shelby. So, hit the road, heading down south, got to the border, and as I was kind of getting close to the border, I went through Milk River, Alberta, and I'm like, I could probably get gas here, or looking at the GPS, there's a gas station in Sweetgrass, which is the border town on the other side of the border. The border always makes me anxious, not because I have anything to worry about, but basically it's just one of those things that, you know, you get the wrong guy on the wrong day, and he just says, no, you can't come in this time, you know, so it kind of stresses me out. We're going to get to things that stress Wayne out in a little bit, but anyways, so I just wanted to kind of get through the border and then, you know, get that under my belt. So got through the border, pulled into Sweetgrass gas station, open, but all the pumps had plastic bags on them. All the pumps were disabled. So now I'm looking at the GPS and I'm looking at my mileage in the truck, and I'm like, okay, well, possibly could it's kind of risky, but could make it to Shelby. Didn't have any other options. Didn't see anything else in the GPS and Google Maps. Nothing that basically showed me a gas station between where I was and Shelby, Montana. So away we went. Literally a mile out of Shelby, I ran out of gas. I looked at the thing and it was 1.8 kilometers, which is basically, I think, pretty much the equivalent of a mile. And a part of me was just going to go, oh, screw it, I'll just walk down, you know, see if they have a jerry can and fill it up and come up and do that. And then the other part of me said, well, you're paying for AAA, might as well call them. Called them, which was a good thing. The guy came out, brought some gas, and I went down the hill to that gas station that I was going to walk to, and sure enough, my Canadian card did not work at that gas station. So had I walked down there and tried to get some gas from them, it would have been a big fail. So needless to say, AAA came through that time, and we were soon on the road again. Pulled into Shelby, gassed up, and was on the road. Got to Great Falls, Montana. Gassed up again, just to be on the safe side. And by this time it's getting dark, and I'm driving along, you know, doing all right. Everything seems to be going good. And all of a sudden this pickup truck starts, kind of rips up beside me, and they're honking and flashing their lights and stuff like that. And, you know, here I am by myself. I got a dog, and this pickup truck had like at least 4 people in it. I couldn't really see ages or that kind of thing, but I could see, you know, like hands waving and that kind of thing. Basically, long story short, they, you know, tried to get me to pull over. I didn't, because I was a little freaked out. They kind of slowed down, and then I caught up to them and they did it again and waved me over, said that, you know, I got sparks, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I pulled off. By this time we were at basically coming up to an exit. So I pulled off on the side of the exit, and no word of a lie, got out of the truck, walked around to the trailer. They'd pulled up into the V of the exit, so they were walking back. But by this time I walked around the front of the truck, walked around the trailer. So the back wheel of the second axle on the trailer on the passenger side was basically just fell right off. And the bearings and the hub and everything was glowing red. So basically it was like the only thing keeping it on there at all was momentum. And as soon as I came to a stop, it just fell off. So it's become very apparent that I should have just stayed in bed today. I should have not tried to go anywhere. I'm now down to 3 wheels on the trailer. The bearing went. Seems to be a bearing anyway. Basically, I got flagged over. Some guys in a truck, family in a truck, pulled, you know, waved me down. I pulled off on the next exit, pulled off the side of the road, and got out. And basically, had I kept going even another 300-400 yards, my wheel probably would have flew off and passed me, because it was sitting on the ground next to the trailer when I walked around. They say things comes in threes. Well, I got all 3 today. Hey friends. So as you can hear the wind, it's windy as out here. And keeping with my more recent theme of being honest and open with you guys, I'm going to let you in on my day from hell yesterday. And so far it's kind of overlapping into today as well. I'm not gonna lie. That said, Rollins and I are safe. We're in this little turnout here off of the exit into Wolf Creek, Montana. It's just this tiny little town. We've been walking around for the dog walks, but we've been basically here for over 12 hours now. I've been in contact with a mobile RV service who is looking for an axle out of Helena. They're not going to be cheap. I'm also waiting for a call back from AAA, who's looking to possibly pick me up, or pick the trailer up and tow it. Obviously not tow it, because I can't tow it. So they have to put it on like the wheel dolly or whatever and take it in. I'm not sure what that could possibly cost, because there is a $500 limit, and depending on the equipment needed to tow an RV, could get pricey. I'm waiting on a bunch of things. That's just the nature of the game. My problem, again, like always, is going to end up being finances. I just did a little tally, and converting my current money to American money, which was basically my gas fund to Nevada, so that I could sit and work for another week and a half and then get paid on the 18th, and then basically start kind of banking some money. My current tally is $900 US, $940. So I'm not whining, not complaining. I chose to make this risk, or to take this risk and make the adventure down. And this is just what happens when you're driving an old truck, towing an old RV. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to do. I'm just kind of at the hands of 3 different agencies at this point. And yeah, we'll see. The guys in Helena seem very, very cool on working with me and helping me out. The reason I looked at AAA getting a tow is because they have a lot, and then possibly get down there and kind of be close to them while we work out the axle situation. And mainly because the wind is not supposed to let up. It's been like crazy windy here. It's not supposed to let up till at least 6 or 7 tonight. And there's a winter storm coming in through this area in the next 2 days that's going to be looking kind of nasty. Plus, I have to be online for work Monday morning, because I do actually have work. Like I have, like I mentioned, the work is starting to come in. It's just not coming in fast enough, and it didn't come in soon enough. So I'm kind of in this state of limbo right now where I'm a little bit hooped. I'm confident that if I do need to borrow some money from somebody, which I hate doing, it will get paid back this year. Anyways, I'll be figuring this out, and I'll keep you guys posted. But yeah, life on the road 101. Every part of it's an adventure. The good, the bad, you got to take it all. And here we are. So that said, I probably showed you a little bit of the shenanigans with the wheel over top of my talking head. So there's probably not a whole lot to say. So yeah. So at this point, it's pretty much apparent that I needed an axle. Now I was parked kind of like I said on just the side of the exit. So I walked down the exit a little bit, and I found out that there was a turnout. So basically when you came off the exit, you came onto Main Street of a tiny little town called Wolf Creek, Montana. And at the end of that, if you're coming the opposite direction, you can't come onto the off-ramp, so there's a turnaround. So I basically limped the trailer down the exit into the turnaround, and that's where we sat. Now I dialed up Google, was looking for repair guys, mobile guys, tow truck guys, whatever. Started looking around, talked to a couple different guys, sent some pictures to these guys in Helena, which was 35 miles away. And then we wait. And they're like, well, I'm like, well, I have AAA. And they're like, well, you can try AAA, but chances are you're not going to get a flat deck or what do they call a landall, because there's nobody around here that has those, and you definitely can't tow it. Otherwise, you just tow it yourself. So I phoned AAA, and AAA were useless. The Canadian AAA went and talked to the American AAA, and the American AAA lady phoned me and went, yeah, there's nobody around for like hundreds of miles that has the right equipment to pull a fifth wheel trailer onto like a trailer or wheels or whatever they need to tow you into Helena. So you're stuck there. Sorry, we can't help. Stay safe. I like that. Stay safe. Yeah. I'm in a fifth wheel trailer and it's minus 18 outside. Yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. That night the wind picked up, got crazy. And ironically, had I not broken down, I knew the wind was going to pick up, and had I not broken down, I would have actually missed it. I would have kept going and actually, been ahead of it, and it would have came in behind me. Hey friends, so here's a quick handheld breakdown update. The guys that are going to come and help fix me have been working on an axle. They got an axle that was a little different, needed a little bit of welding as far as the plates that the wheel attached to. They have a DOT approved welder on call, so he's been working on it this morning and today, but they're busy, and he cut me a bit of a discount because of the axle, and one of the guys is actually taking a cut and pay, as far as I've been told, to help get me on the road, because he knows my situation's a little bit pathetic, for lack of a better word. And yeah, so basically they're apparently on their way. I'm hoping they get here soon. It's almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. Now their service is mobile. It's 24/7. I guess they're used to working in this stuff. I thought they would have been here more in the daylight, but I don't know. So they're on their way. Hopefully I can get on the road by 7 or 8 o'clock, because that gives me a chance to get ahead of the weather that's coming in. Because basically by midnight, 2 a.m., it's going to get really crappy. And A, I don't want to be driving, but B, I don't want to be sitting, because it's going to be like minus 15, minus 17 degrees, and that's going to freeze everything up. So fingers crossed that they get here, we can get this thing on, get the wheels on, and get the hell out of here in a decent amount of time. I'm still going to take it easy. I'm not going to be an idiot and try and drive fast in winter conditions, but I have been checking the weather apps, and even as far as Butte, it's like saying it's still 8 degrees. So if I get past Butte, I think I'm fine. But basically, yeah, I just got to get on the road. Got to get on the road. I've been here since Friday night, and it hasn't been fun. I mean, to be honest, there's little things like, A, I'm stressed out about the repair. B, my online banking shit the bed again too. It's like I tried to send the guy the money to pay him so that they could get started on the work, and it was like not going through. E-transfer, he couldn't accept it because it's Canadian versus US. Couple other things like Simply Financial is advertising this Visa deposit to debit Visa thing. So if you have a person's Visa debit card, you can like literally send the money to that card. And then I looked for that option, and it didn't exist. Like, their app is just complete garbage. So I eventually ended up transferring money from my account to my Wise account, which also has a US side to it. So I put it in my US side. It did all the conversion. Then I sent him money through that this morning, and hopefully he gets that soon. I sent him all the information so he can see that it is in motion. It's just, banks. And this is one more reason why I'm a huge advocate of crypto. Like, in the future, if it plays out, this is how it's going to work. How much do I owe you to get this started? Okay. What's your wallet address? Okay. Done. I type in his wallet address. I type in the amount. I send a certain amount of whatever crypto to his wallet address, and he's paid. There's no banks doing this, and banks taking 2 days to transfer this, and banks to, like, even Wise was like, oh, your bank could take up to 3 days to process this transfer. And I'm like, it just said it's an e-transfer and it takes 5 minutes. But then once you get the money in the queue, oh, they got you, right? Yeah. Fuck that. So basically, tired of winter. Tired of sitting here broken down, tired of banks and money situations and institutions like insurance companies and AAA, who you pay $163 a year for. And do you see any tow truck? Did I get towed anywhere? No. AAA here doesn't have the lift all, or they call it a land all, or the rollback that is needed to tow this trailer. Nobody that AAA deals with has one of those. How convenient. Good. Glad I'm paying for the RV Plus version of your AAA. Alberta Motor Association. This is for you. There, have one of those. And then of course they say, oh, well, you know, can pay it out of pocket and get reimbursed. Yeah, 6 months down the road, and I don't really have that kind of money right now, and I don't have 6 months to wait to get it back. So no, I'm here, stuck. I'm still hoping that I can get on the road tonight and beat the rest of this winter crap that's coming. But I'll keep you posted. Hey friends, so we're still here, still broken down. It snowed last night and it's snowing today. The roads don't look fun at all. As far as the update on the axle goes, the guys in Helena, as much as I appreciate the brake and their time and effort and what they do, they've basically deprioritized me because my money is coming from Canada and it hasn't cleared their bank yet. I was having trouble with my bank, my Simply Financial account. So basically I pushed all my money to my Wise account, which used to be TransferWise. They're well known, you know, like wire transfer website company. I have an account with them that has a US side and a Canadian side. Because I do this, I decided that was a good idea. So I converted all my Canadian money to the US side and basically got his routing number and account number and sent it to him. And then once it's in motion, it gives you a link, send this to your recipient so they know it's coming, blah-de-blah-de-blah. And then it also has the details on the timing of things. So basically my money was in my Wise account. I couldn't have put it there if I didn't have it. Put the money in the Wise account, pressed send to these guys, and it says, you know, it can take up to whatever before their bank, it gets to their bank. Waited for that. This morning I woke up and it says the money has been transferred. It is in their bank's system, but their bank can take possibly up to 2 or 3 business days to process that. And I just found out, like, he didn't really let me know this in advance. Would have been a nice heads up to get, because he never really said. But basically, they're not coming out to help me until my money clears. It's -10. It snowed. We're actually just right now got a break in the clouds where the sun is shining through. I've been up on the roof to clear the solar so we get a little bit of power, because it's not getting much. It's been cloudy and basically snowing, or not, you know, trying to snow the past 2.5 days. I'm still in this little turnout in this little town. I went in and talked to the bartender lady one night, last night, just for a little bit, just to get out of here to chat. You know, sprung for a beer, etc. But it's like, so I'm in this weird funk where I'm trying to be grateful because they are cutting me a deal. I know this. I know their time is worth a lot of money. And I know that basically he's cut me a deal and I've paid that price. But I just want to get on the road. You know, I was looking at the weather app last night, and if they'd come out, like he said they were coming out late afternoon yesterday. And then all of a sudden it's like 5 o'clock and he says, oh, you know, Jeff will be on his way. He'll get to you soon. Okay. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, we're done for the day. Good night. Stay warm. So anyway, I'm grateful. I'm anxious. I'm stressed right the fuck out. It's cold in here. My pipes are frozen. Like, everything's frozen in the RV. The water pump, you know, isn't working. It's frozen again. running this Mr. Buddy propane heater to keep warm and keep the dog safe. And, we walked over to the Exxon station last night before they closed to get a jug of water so that he had water. I don't give a shit about me. I'm fine. But, so yeah. Hey friends. So, excuse me if I look like complete shit, because I probably do. And to be honest, I feel like complete shit. But I think I have good news. I'm still unsure. Okay, so what day is it? It's Tuesday today. Yeah. So this morning I woke up and checked the status of the transfer. And Dennis was checking the status of the transfer pretty much around the same time. He was on his phone with his bank trying to find out why it didn't go through, or hasn't been processed yet, I guess is the better way to word it. And as he's on the phone, asked me a question like where that details were, because I sent him a link to a PDF, but all of a sudden he was getting a timeout issue, like it wasn't loading for him, that had all the details of the transfer. So I go to log into Wise, and I find out that the transfer was kicked back. It was basically unsent, returned, and saying that the recipient's details weren't right. I messaged Dennis, and he said that his details were right, and I don't know. We don't know. That said, because the transfer was kicked back, I had two options: to edit it and resubmit it, or to cancel it and get the money funded back into my account. Now, my Wise account also has a Wise card, a credit card, a Visa. I mean, it only operates on the cash that you have in your account. It's not a credit card. It's just basically, I guess, a Visa debit card, Visa credit card, whatever you want to call it. And so the money was then put back into my account. Now, the reason I didn't do this the first time, which would have saved us both a lot of hassle, is because he was trying to cut me a deal on a cash deposit, right? He said if I could do it cash, it would be a little cheaper, and he knocked some money off because I'm on a pretty shitty budget, and I jumped at that chance, figuring 24 hours max maybe, but obviously it took longer than that because we're still here. So long story short, because the transfer failed and I canceled it and got my money back, I talked to him. He was okay with me just sending it, like just pay the invoice that I sent, using whatever means you can, which would have been the Visa number on my Wise account where the money sat. Perfect. Okay. Log in, dial up his invoice, click pay, go through the processes, enter the numbers, all that kind of shit. Declined. To the point where all of a sudden it says, you've tried to pay this invoice too many times. You need to get the operator to send you a new one. And I'm just like, what else? What else? So then I went through the process this morning of phoning Wise, and I talked to a gentleman there who was actually very helpful. There is a tab in my Wise account where you can adjust the limits of different transactions. So basically, if you want to limit your tap ability to $50 per tap, you can. If you want it maxed, you can max it to whatever their max is. And he just basically said, go through those limits and, adjust them or max them out, and you should be able to pay it. While I was on the line with him, I got a new invoice from Dennis. So basically I had to, get that link, send it to myself, open it up on my iPad, punch in the stuff from Wise, clicked it, and it went through. So that was about 2.5 hours ago. I saw on text that they were, because I'm basically on a 3-way text with Dennis and his partner Jeff, who is the guy that is technically not getting paid for coming out on this job to help me out. So again, I'm grateful to Jeff for that. And of course, it's been snowing, like heavily snowing all morning. Don't know how long into the night it was, but we're covered in snow again. I've been up on the roof again, moving snow off the solar panels to try and get enough power just to charge up my iPad and my iPhone. Yeah, hopefully these guys are on their way soon, and hopefully I'm out of here soon. It's going to be slow going, but I just talked to a couple of utility workers that one of them came from Helena, and he said that the roads aren't too bad from here to Helena, and then after that it starts to warm up because you get out of the canyon or whatever, and it should be all right. So it's going to be slow going for the next 50, 80, 100 miles. And then after that, hopefully it opens up a little bit. I can make a little bit of time into Idaho and Utah and go from there. Again, keep you posted. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hey friends, so it's 4 o'clock. As far as I know, the guys are on their way. They basically said they had to stop at the shop, pick up a couple of things, some tools, and they were on their way. It's about a 50-mile drive, I think. They said it could take up to a couple of hours, but they also said that they're pretty quick at it. So you never know. I cleared the snow away from the work area as much as possible for them so that there's not as much snow. I don't have a shovel, I just had a broom, but it worked. And yeah, hopefully we'll be on the road by 6 or 7 tonight. The road conditions aren't great. It's been snowing all day, at least for the first probably 100 miles. And after that, from what I can tell by local weather, just dialing in every city that I go through, it's going to be basically a little bit of mix of rain and snow for the first bit after the first 100. And then after that, it's rainy. Like even Vegas is raining right now, apparently. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated, and we'll wrap this up someday soon, I hope. Because I'm done with snow. I'm done with winter. I'm done. Yeah, you know, I'm not going to whine anymore. Anyways, talk to you soon. Bye. Hey friends. So it's now Wednesday morning. Finally got the guys paid yesterday, and they got it together. Got up here just as it was starting to get dark, and also minus 15 degrees Celsius, which, yeah, it's minus 20 right now, and full on blizzard, but I haven't moved. The guys came up, brought the axle. Apparently their arc welder or whatever welder they use shit the bed just as they were testing it to get it up here, so they had to stop and buy a new one, which is why they were later than they thought they would be. They got here, got underneath, and realized that the axle that they brought up is bigger in diameter than the axles that are on the trailer, and we have no U-bolts to attach the springs to the axle. Now, as much as I am kind of pissed off, I do have to say that the guys that are doing the work are good guys. I mean, Dennis and his wife Mary took me out for dinner after we realized we couldn't do anything last night. So we went down to the little bar here that I've walked by a million times with the dog already, and had a nice dinner and had nice chats and talked about, you know, everything from, you know, work and what I do and what he does, and, you know, little bits from our past, and you know, Burning Man and everything. And it was fun. It was a fun conversation. And personally, I like the guy, you know. But business is business, and I'm losing work now because I've been stuck here with no solar. I don't, there's been no sun. It's been snowing for 3 days, off and on. It's a fucking full-on weather advisory blizzard out there now. And that's why, guess what? They're not coming up. Now, granted, they left me a generator here last night and a oil radiator, like a oil radiator heater to attach to the generator to help keep it warm in here. I have my little electric heater. Cranked it up last night pretty good after I got back from dinner. Got it nice and toasty in here. I can't really sleep with the generator on. That's why I have solar. So at midnight, 12:30, I turned it off. Went to bed. I left the Mr. Buddy heater on just to kind of, keep the transition from toasty to freezing a little longer. And it wasn't so bad when I woke up. So, those definitely helped. Got up this morning. I'm not I don't know a lot about generators, so I pulled and pulled and pulled, turned the switch on, pulled and pulled and pulled. It wouldn't start. And then they said, oh, well, you got to pull the choke out. Okay, duh, dumbass. Okay, pull the choke out. It started, but now I don't know why. I'm not getting any power through the plug. There's not any power coming to the RV. I checked the plugs, checked the fuses on the converter. Nothing's happening. So it's back down to the little Mr. Buddy heater here and blankets and the dog. And considering this blizzard is supposed to last fucking 24 hours, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get out of here, to be honest. I'm really starting to doubt it. I'm losing my goddamn mind. Every day that I've been delayed here, the weather and road conditions going south have gotten worse. If I were to leave here now, I'm dealing with this blizzard shit outside that I'll film in a minute when I go to get a bottle of water because I don't have any water in the trailer because it's all fucking frozen. But yeah, it just goes to show you can plan your fucking ass off. Like, I looked at the weather, and despite it being cold in Alberta, the weather coming down, my biggest concern coming down on Friday was that it was supposed to get really windy after midnight in certain areas. If I had not broken down, I would have been through those certain areas by the time the wind was supposed to come through. I would have been far enough south that I would have missed it. And then the rest of it was like 7 degrees, clear and dry, 7 degrees, clear and dry. There wasn't even rain anywhere the whole way down. There was a couple cold spots where, if there was precipitation, you'd want to be careful, where it'd be, 1 or 2 degrees out. But other than that, the roads were fucking awesome. Now, I'm looking at full-on blizzard conditions the whole way to practically St. George, based on the 2 weather apps that I'm looking at. Because every day I've been here, it's gotten worse. Yesterday, it was just rain. Yesterday, it would have been bad to Helena, bad to Butte. Then once past that, then it starts warming up a little bit, and it turns into rain. And again, you have to be careful, because if the temperature is hovering around freezing, then you got to be careful, obviously. But nope, we're here one more night, and now it's just a full-on fucking blizzard the whole way. Anyway, I'm just tired. I'm cold. It's been an adventure. I'm remaining optimistic, and I'm trying to keep a positive mental state, positive frame of mind. The guys are here, well, Jeff's here and Dennis is on his way, and I'm going to be upfront right now and say that I've been recording this the whole kind of time, like day after day, and my emotions got the best of me a few times, and I'm probably going to edit this down. More so not because, let's just say it's a learning process, and I think I've learned a few things about myself this past 6 days, and I think this video will become a little bit more about things we can learn along the way. Once I get settled and we're not working on the truck, I'm going to sit down and kind of put together my thoughts and do a little ending to this video. And yeah, hopefully it'll be something everybody can get a little bit of something out of. All right, I'll talk to you all soon. All right, bye. Alas, Rollins and I spent 5.5 days in Wolf Creek, Montana, walking back and forth on their little main street. The 2 coldest days were the 2, probably day 4 and 5, and it was minus 20 Celsius. At night, the one day I think it warmed up to minus 18. We were frozen solid pretty much. I had no running water after day 2. I was buying jugs of water from the Exxon station on the other side of the freeway. There was a little underpass, went over there to that side. That was the only gas station. Thankfully, there was a little bar restaurant. I went in there one night. Those 6 days were basically a battle within my own head. Now, people are going to wonder, what the hell? What's he talking about now? Basically, what it come down to this, and this took a lot of time and a lot of thinking and kind of evaluating and just kind of like going, like trying to process the way I am. Now, this whole situation was a huge learning lesson for me. Not at the time. I will show you some clips here and there over the 6 days. At the time, it was not a learning lesson. At the time, I was stressing right out, mainly because A, I couldn't get any help. AAA was useless. These guys were, 35 miles away. They didn't have an axle. A new one from a dealer in Helena would have been like triple the price. So then they figured, well, we can order one, but it won't be till Wednesday. Now you have to keep in mind, this is Friday night that I broke down. I can't work because I'm barely getting any solar power because it's cloudy and snowing. So pretty much the whole time we were there, it was either cloudy and snowing or cloudy and cold. The first day, I think we got a little bit of sun. After that, it was just gray. So A, I'm not getting solar. B, I have no running water. C, even if I was getting solar, I was looking at if I could possibly work, get a bunch of work done while I'm here. Couldn't do that because the Starlink needs a good view of the north sky, and north was a rock wall that I was basically parked beside in this turnaround. And I'm like, I'm not going to get any north sky for Starlink here. Like literally it's like, I don't know, 40 feet away, and it's, like a rock cliff. I mean, I got a couple of pictures and you'll see. So yeah, I'm literally stuck there. Trying to keep warm with a Mr. Buddy heater and a lot of blankets and a dog. Buying water by the jug from the gas station because I have no running water. Have no solar power, getting a little bit here and there. Basically enough to charge my iPad and watch a couple movies on it using my limited phone data that I dialed back because I got the Starlink. Anyways, I came down to a couple things. One of them was being inside my head when I'm alone and it's nice and I'm doing my thing and I'm happy and I'm not stressed out is a pretty good place to be. I'm okay being alone for the most part, you know, when I'm just out doing my thing. Being inside my head when I'm like totally stressed about money, totally stressed about keeping myself and my dog warm, totally stressed about when I can possibly get the hell out of there, totally stressed about banks. That became a whole other ball of wax because these guys that were helping me, you know, the one guy, Dennis, amazing guy. Jeff's amazing guy. They were both like really incredible, good guys, but they're also running a business. And when they look at when I try and send an e-transfer to pay them and it fails, and then I'm like, okay, well, it's because I'm trying to send US dollars. You know, like I was basically converting the US dollars to Canadian dollars and then sending that amount to him, but he's in the US trying to process it through his Wells Fargo bank and they won't accept it because it's a Canadian coming from a Canadian bank and blah, 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 blah. Like, again, another prime example why I'm a huge advocate for crypto, for the adoption of crypto, because if this was Bitcoin, it would have been, what's your wallet address? There it is. 10 seconds later, okay, when are you coming up with the axle? Boom, done. But no, I waited 3 days. So the first e-transfer failed, and then I waited 3 days because I sent him an ACH transfer, where like a wire transfer, and his bank sat on it, nothing happened, and then it got rejected. They sent it back. So then I basically was able to refund myself my own money, and then go back and put it onto the Visa card that's attached to my Wise account because I moved all my money to my Wise account because my Canadian card wasn't working at the gas stations and it wasn't working for him. It's pretty much useless. So transferring money back and forth, blah, 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 blah. Finally got him paid. They came up with the axle, but the axle diameter was thicker than that one that was on there. So the U-bolts didn't fit. You know, like I didn't put this in his Google review because it's probably not something he does for everybody. But he even took me out for dinner. Like him and his wife were in the truck and they're like, let's just, you know, we can't do anything more tonight. Let's go for dinner down at this little bar. And we went down to the bar and had dinner. And he bought me dinner. And I'm like, okay, cool, right? He goes, we'll go back tonight. We'll get the U-bolts tomorrow. We'll be back in the morning. He went back during a snowstorm. Like that night was a snowstorm. The roads were shitty for him going back. And then the next morning, my phone's going off with winter warning alerts, blizzards and, you know, like snow warnings and that. Those guys weren't going anywhere and I didn't expect them to. So Rollins and I, with the generator and the heater, we were okay. So we waited another night, another day and another night. The next day, he's like, we got everything ready. We're on our way. They got there, I can't remember, around noonish. And basically, I asked how the roads were, and he goes, they're a little rough in one spot, but after that, they clear up again. And he goes, you wouldn't have gone anywhere the night that we were here before, and you wouldn't have gone anywhere yesterday. And it's true, I wouldn't have, right? So basically, all in all, I spent 6 days stressing out. But the funny thing is on the last day when I'm like, it's hard to explain, but on the last day when the weather's just gone completely shit, you can't do anything about the weather, right? It's blizzard conditions, winter warning, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I kind of found a little bit of peace in it all and kind of just started to dial things down inward and be grateful for, you know, the fact that Dennis and Jeff were awesome guys. They were doing what they can to help me. You know, I had extra heater, I had a generator. It wasn't as bad as it felt, right? And again, that comes back to, you know, being in my own head. And, you know, when things are good, it's a good place to be. When things are going not so good, I really have to kind of, you know, keep myself in check. Now, that said, that's kind of like the general update. So basically I was there for 5.5, 6 days. Then we, you know, I was like originally kind of going to go to just outside of Vegas. Basically it's the west entrance to Valley of Fire. But then something inside me just went, no, there's like nothing around there. I needed groceries, that kind of thing. So we went through Vegas, stopped at the Costco in Henderson, got a couple of things, stopped at Walmart, got a couple of things, and then made my way down here to Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Pulled into Craggy Wash, came down, found a spot, parked, unhitched, got set up, started getting back to work, catching up all my work, which was another thing. Like basically the past week, for lack of a better estimation, has just all been like me catching up on work. That said, I got a friend of mine, Mark's website done, and he actually overpaid me because he's happy with it. Things like that are, you know, like I'm like, okay, things are turning around, things are coming back. 2 days ago, I'm out just pitter-pattering around with the dog, and I just happened to look, and I'm like, why did those two back wheels of the trailer look too close together? They're usually not that close together. And I look a little closer, and there's something hanging. And I get underneath, and I notice and don't get me wrong, I know exactly where this happened. It was railway tracks on like 90, whatever, 93 or the 95 coming down to the 40. Almost to the 40, there's a set of railway tracks. And I mean, the speed limit's whatever, 45, 50 miles an hour. And there's no warning that these tracks are complete shit. None whatsoever. Because, I mean, I was slowing down anyway for railway tracks. But even if I hit them at 30, it was way too fast. Because that's where, I'm positive, 100% positive that's where it happened. Right at the U-bolt, all three just gone. So the fact that I actually made it the rest of the way here without destroying anything else, I mean, the other spring looks a little, you know, messed up, a little flat now too. But the fact that I made it here is, I guess, something I'm grateful for, because, you know, my axle isn't down the road somewhere. That said, I'm now 2 miles into Craggy Wash and can't really technically be driving anywhere. I don't want to risk it anymore. Like, I don't want to, you know, try and make it into town, so to speak. So today is Sunday. Everything's closed. When I found out, when I was looking at that, it was like 3:30 on Friday night. So by the time I Googled stuff, and like all the RV places were closing, and of course RV places anywhere might as well be banks because they run on the same hours. Like, you know, Saturday open? Are you kidding? Sunday? Definitely not. You know, so basically tomorrow I'm on the phone all over the place to see if I can get a spring. I don't know if I can do it myself. I don't know if I have the tools. And because the other one looks a little compromised, I think I want to get them both done. So if I can find a shop that has the right springs and has the time to do it this coming week, then I'm going to phone AAA again and see if they're going to fail me another time. Because if they can get a guy out here with a landau, put the trailer on landau, take it to the shop, lift it up, drop the older axle, put 2 new leaf springs on it and put it back together, then that's probably the route I'm going to go. Short of that, if I can't get it taken anywhere, then I'm going to have to either look at a mobile service, which I probably can't afford, or I'm going to be trying to do it myself with, you know, like I'm going to literally have to buy a couple of jack stands. I have a little bottle bottle jack that works for changing a tire, but you know, I don't know how stable that is. I don't know if I'm going to be trusting that 100%. Basically, I'm going to be looking at buying jack stands and possibly tools. I have a torque wrench, but I don't know if I have the right sockets, especially the long ones that can get over the U-bolts, all this other stuff. So that's basically where I'm at. It's what, the 20th of November today? The camp host came by here, gave me a thing saying I got till the 26th or the 28th. He was not too concerned that I'm, you know, that kind of thing. So basically, like I said, if I have to, I'll try and find the right spring and do it myself. But I'd prefer to, I'm paying for AAA, so, you know, I have no problem using them as many times as I need to get, you know, and it's only like 6 or 7 miles into towns. So if I can find a shop that will do it, I'm going to be phoning AAA to see if they can come and get me and take it in. Get the trailer and take it in. Fun times. But yeah, one thing I learned through all this is I have good friends. I'm grateful for the friends that I have. I'm grateful for the people in my life. I'm grateful for Dennis and Jeff, who saved my ass in Montana. You know, they were good guys, awesome guys. And if you're ever kind of in between Great Falls and Helena, Montana, and you need some RV help or, you know, any kind of mechanical help at all, they have basically their business is mobile marine and RV services out of Helena. So look them up, check them out, give them a call. Dennis will take care of you. So yeah, I don't really know what else to tell you. As far as the Q&A video, it's coming up next. I'm going to try and shoot it this week in between repairs and work and other things. On the bright side, the custom car guy that is possibly interested in hiring me for some web design stuff. I had a meeting with his developer and it seemed to go well. And it looks like we're going to start on a project. I sent him a quote, which he was fine with. And I'm just kind of waiting to hear back to see, he does everything through Upwork. So I'm just kind of waiting. He said he's going to add the job to Upwork and then we'll go from there. I kind of already started on some branding ideas, logo ideas for this first website. But it's decent money. Like he's paying, you know, kind of like around the average of what people make doing what I do. Everywhere else that I'm working is getting a bit of a deal. But that said, I'm grateful for all of them. I'm grateful to have the work. I'm grateful for, you know, things that are starting to come in. I just got to get this repair done. And yeah, back to doing what I like to do best in between all the work that I'm starting to stack up. So that's an update. Thanks for watching. I know some of you out there think that I should be, you know, documenting more of the real world, you know, day-to-day kind of stuff. And I kind of was for this video, but then it kind of became one of those things where it's like, oh man, like I gotta chill out, you know, like I don't even technically, when I'm shooting this, I don't even really want to revisit the, you know, the stuff I was doing on my phone in the moment. Because, you know, like I'm not a mean, you know, I'm not a mean person, and I was stressed right out and frustrated, right? And I gotta figure that out. So this is me kind of reflecting on that and knowing that and trying to keep you guys a little updated, but not so much in the moment because I'm not sure that would be a good thing. All right. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all soon and take care. The other video will come out soon after this one and we'll go from there. All right. Thank you all for watching and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.